So welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Volvo in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in the new 2023 XC40 today because there is a refreshed look for 2023. You guys could probably tell by the headlights first off. Also, IHS top safety pick, so this thing is incredibly safe, just like the rest of Volvo's lineup. And this is luxury from Sweden, which is pretty dang cool if you ask me. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and get started with the pricing. And so let me first start by saying there are new trim levels for 2023. Core is going to start at $37,640. The Plus trim level is the one we are in today, starting at $42,045. And lastly, the Ultimate starting at $45,795. By the way, that was all pricing for the front wheel drive configuration. If you wanted to add all-wheel drive, you can do that. Simply add $2,000 then to any of those prices. But so regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant on the XC40 is going to be the same. However, there are different power numbers. Essentially, the B4 is going to be specific to the front wheel drive variant, and then the B5 is going to be specific to the all-wheel drive variant of the XC40, and that is the one we have today. But powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder for the B4, 194 horsepower for the B5, 247 horsepower, so substantially more there. Then 221 pound-feet of torque for the B4, 258 pound-feet of torque for the B5. By the way, both configurations coming with mild hybrid drive, so that should help with any turbo lag from the get-go. We're going to be testing that out in a second. But power sent to the ground through an 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 time differing quite substantially. 8.1 seconds for the front-wheel drive, 6.1 seconds then for the all-wheel drive. MPG numbers coming in at 24 in the city, 32 on the highway for the front-wheel drive, 23 city, 30 then on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking premium unleaded fuel. But then before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the XC40, I did want to mention there are a couple different configurations where you can alter the driving dynamics a little bit. You do have an off-road driving mode, and you can also alter the steering feel. We're actually going to put that on firm right now, so I'm going to go ahead and change that right off the bat. But having said that, that's about it for the different modes on this one. So let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the XC40 here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 Volvo XC40 here up to speed. All right, here's our straightaway. Let's kick it. Yep. Oh my gosh. Dang, man, this thing is quick. All right, no turbo lag, probably thanks to that mild hybrid system on this thing. That was pretty darn good. And let me tell you guys, most vehicles that are turbocharged 4-cylinders, like I alluded to kind of earlier, you do get some kind of turbo lag, including my own vehicle. But in this thing, there was none of that. So that was wonderful. Instant acceleration, 100%, not going to have any issues with merging onto the highway in the new XC40. That was pretty darn good. But anyways, to go along with that, acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 13.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.9-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that is going to come in at 120 feet. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front, you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension. As far as ride quality goes, it's been perfectly fine, actually, my short test drive here today. But perhaps the thing I noticed the most was the lack of cabin noise coming into the cabin. So I'm going 54 miles per hour right now, and when I was going slower, I was getting a lot of echo when I'm just talking right here to the camera to you guys, and that's because there isn't a whole lot of exterior wind noise or road noise coming into the cabin. So I'm kind of a big fan of that. That was pretty cool. As far as steering feel goes, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, you do have the option to firm up that steering feel, creating a heavier weight to the steering, which is what I just did, like I said, and you can immediately tell the difference between the steering feel. I am a huge fan of this heavier steering feel, having just put it in that mode. So let me go ahead and actually just take it back out of that mode. I want to see if it instantly relaxes the steering, much more loosey-goosey. So let's go back into that firm steering. So huge fan of the steering feel with it in that firm driving mode, I guess you could call it, for the steering. So big fan of that. Then touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. And typically with an SUV of this shape, you're not going to have any issues. So 100% on point there. And those second row headrests actually do fold down. I got one of them folded down right now, so that's going to be even better visibility. But anyways, rain sensing windshield wipers, I did want to mention, for forward visibility, come standard on every single trim level across the board. So whenever the XC40 detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's essentially automatically going to turn on those windshield wipers for you. So it's just one less thing you got to worry about there. So I'm a big fan of that as well. But That pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Volvo XC40. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Volvo XC40, finished in crystal white metallic, in case you were curious of our exterior color name. But let's go ahead and start up front, because there have been a lot of changes for the 2023 XC40, including a completely redesigned front bumper. So you guys can probably tell there is quite a bit going on up here. Revised front grille, and by the way, when it comes to that front grille, there is now a bright or dark theme. It was called something different previously, but we have the dark theme, so that's going to add gloss black accents as opposed to silver accents everywhere, essentially. So keep that in mind throughout the exterior walk around here. But to the sides, those headlights have been reshaped to kind of look more similar to the new Volvo C40. I'm sure you guys could probably see that. Less boxy, more kind of swoopy on the insides there, but they are LEDs. LEDs do come standard with LED Thor's hammer daytime running lights, of course. Automatic feature coming with that, along with automatic high beams as well. I personally love that feature. Essentially, when you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim those back to low beams. Then when the vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bump it back up to high beams. So very convenient feature there. I did want to also mention, though, pixel LED headlights. That's an option for $350. Essentially, each headlight then has 84 pixels of lighting that adjust. For example, if there's a car coming in the opposite direction, it's going to adjust the angle of the low beams if it senses that vehicle coming, and then adjust it back when the vehicle is gone. So kind of interesting concept there. I did want to also mention there are two new colors for the XC40 for 2023. Fjord Blue, essentially like the C40 Recharge that I reviewed, and I probably mispronounced that again, but that's okay. And also Sage Green is another new color for the 2023 XC40. But LED fog lights then coming with the Plus and Ultimate trim levels, meaning you're not going to get them on the core. So I do want to emphasize that, and that's of course down to the bottom corners there of that front fascia. And aluminum or gloss black front lip, again dependent upon the theme that you go with. Again, we do have the dark theme, so we got the black front lip up front. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of the new redesigned front end in the comments section below, and that about rounds out the front end. So I'll go ahead and make our way to the side of the XC40. All right, and so now since we are around to the side of this one, starting all the way to the top there, you will either find aluminum or gloss black roof rails, again dependent upon the theme that you go with, chrome or gloss black beltline molding. Rear privacy glass is going to come standard across the board. Gotta love that. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors, and they will also be heated. And again, if you go with the dark theme, they're actually going to be gloss black as opposed to the body color that I just said. But anyways, then take a look down at the wheel setup. 18-inch double 5-spoke diamond cut alloys for the core and the Plus. Our wheels look dang good in my personal opinion down there. 19-inch 5-spoke diamond cut alloys for the Ultimate, and there are some 20-inch wheel designs available, and actually 19-inch wheel designs available as well. And we actually do have 19-inch wheels on our Plus trim level that we have with us here today. But anyways, pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the top, body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper asphyxiated to the rear glass there. Got some Volvo lettering spelled out horizontally. That definitely looks good. You got the B5 all-wheel drive badging, or you're going to get the B4 badging if you get the front-wheel drive configuration. LED taillights, of course, comes standard because this is a Volvo. It has to be extra safe with those LEDs. And all the way down to the bottom, you're either going to get aluminum or gloss black trim on the very bottom portion of that rear bumper there. But ultimately, down below, you will find dual exhaust outlets, although they will be tucked away for both configurations there. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So but now since we are around to the back of the XC40, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a height adjustable power tailgate for every single trim level across the board. And by the way, that's newly standard for the 2023 model year as well, so yet another change there as well. Cargo capacity is going to come in at 20.7 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split, bumping that up to 57.5 cubic feet. But there is a lot going on in that cargo area. There is a 12-volt power outlet back there. There's grocery bag hooks, and one of the coolest things is if you lift up the cargo floor, you do have a little bit of in-floor storage, which is pretty cool in itself. But when you lift up the cargo floor, you can kind of lock it in place to have an additional 3 more grocery bag hooks if you wanted to. So I always find that pretty cool with Volvos. They've done that in some of their other vehicles. You have cargo lighting back there. You got a cargo cover that also comes standard. So overall, there is a good bit going on in the cargo area of the XC40. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 36.1 inches. So for reference, I am an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. There is a rear center armrest with cup holders that does come standard. There is a 12-volt power outlet as well. There are dual phone charging ports that come standard back there, rear ventilation along with that. And if you were to go with a climate package, it goes for $550, by the way, you can also get heated rear seats, which we do have with us here today. So you could spoil the rear passengers here in Western Maryland because we do get a lot of snow here. So that is pretty cool. Then making our way up to the front seats, power adjustable driver's seat with power lumbar coming standard. You get memory settings for up to 2 different drivers. They can be found at the driver's side door there, also coming standard for all trim levels. Leather seating is going to come standard yet again, but you will get a suede leather combination if you go with the Ultimate. Heated front seats are going to come standard. Gotta love that. And my very favorite part about the seating, you actually have the flag of Sweden found on the passenger seat, along with every other vehicle I think that Volvo makes, but still, I always like that little added touch. It's all about the attention to detail, but overall, with the lumbar adjustment on this thing especially, definitely not going to have any issues finding your perfect driving position. But then, taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped for all trim levels, and it will be heated with that climate package I was telling you guys about that gave you the heated rear seats as well. So that is pretty nice. But now, let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You do have your Volvo logo on the one side, and all of your buttons actually are located on the side of the key. You got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate there. But I'm going to also mention key 1 is going to be black, but then your key 2 is going to be orange, and that's the key that I personally like. But anyways, it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that black engine start button located just by the driver's right knee there. And so once started up, when it comes to the gauges, you will find a full digital gauge cluster that comes standard across the board, and you can actually display your navigation up there if you wanted to as well. By the way, the navigation in all of Volvos are powered by Google, so it's Google Maps, so that is pretty darn cool. There's your outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. Road time recognition, so it's going to tell you the speed limit of any given road. But overall, it's a very nice looking gauge cluster, I will definitely say that. Then making our way to overall interior quality, if you're looking for a panoramic moonroof that we have today, you're going to go with the Plus or the Ultimate trim levels. High level LED interior lighting for the Plus and the Ultimate trim levels yet again. And the coolest thing about those LED interior lights, there's really no button for them. You just kind of put your finger over them and it's going to turn on and off, which is pretty darn cool. I don't think I've ever seen it done like that before. By the way, to open and close the power moonroof, you simply just swipe your finger backwards if you want it open, swipe it forwards if you want it closed. So I like the cool little easy gestures that Volvo has included in this thing. You also do get a crystal gear shift knob by Orfor's if you go with the Plus trim level that we have with us here today, and that looks dang good. They actually redesigned it for this XC40, so big fan of the look of that thing. That always looks dang good. But universal garage door opener does come standard, and that's just underneath of the frameless rear view mirror as well, so that's pretty cool. Aluminum interior accents coming with the Ultimate trim level. Driftwood trim coming with the Plus, and that's found on the doors just above the passenger side glove box as well, and I'm a huge fan of that. Wireless phone charger can be found just in front of the shifter there. That is pretty darn cool. And I remember in the past, there's actually going to be a button to open the glove box, but it looks like they did away with that because I actually have a handle on the glove box this year, so maybe that's a little bit of a change there. But just like the C40, it looks like you got the little grocery bag hook that can pop out of the glove box if you wanted to hang a bag there. So just notice that, and there's actually a little section for you to slide a pen in there right next to that, or a pencil, I guess. But that is pretty cool too. I like how Volvo did that. Another thing I wanted to mention on the interior quality is the doors and just around the center console here, everything is very soft. I don't know what kind of material this is, but it almost feels like carpet. It's just a super soft feeling, and there is a little bit of indented storage right around the center console here as well, so that's pretty cool. Just in front of the shifter, you do have a couple phone charging ports. There's a 12-volt power outlet. You got your dual cup holders to the right of the shifter there, electromechanical parking brake, decent amount of storage within that center armrest, and yet again a removable trash bin in typical Volvo fashion. They always like doing this. They do that with their C40 as well, so I'm a big fan of that too. So a lot of cool little Easter eggs in the Volvo, I'll just put it that way. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. 9-inch vertical color touchscreen display does come standard. Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Climate control settings you can check out up there as well. heated seat buttons you can check out up there. There's that heated steering wheel button you can find up there as well. But so then of course you can check out your radio information up there as well. And so when it comes to the sound systems, there are two of them. First one is going to be an 8-speaker sound system with 250 watts. That is what's going to come standard. But then there is the upgraded sound system, which is a 13-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. But that is not the one we have today. We actually do have that 8-speaker sound system with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. All right, actually not bad, because there was a decent amount of bass with that 8-speaker sound system. Clarity was pretty darn good as well, and it's not your traditional 6-speaker sound system, which is what you usually will find in bass sound systems in SUVs. So the fact that you got 8 speakers in a vehicle the size of the XC40, it's not even a larger SUV, this is a pretty darn good sound system, if I'm being honest, for the XC40. So I absolutely personally have had no issues there with that sound system. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the XC40 in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board with a 360-degree camera. That is going to be optional. We do have that option, so I wanted to show that to you guys as well, giving you that bird's eye view, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus to start with, which is the very highest rating, like I said, by IIHS. So that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard. Blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, rear parking sensors, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and roadside recognition then as well. And if you were to go with either the Plus or the Ultimate trims, you're going to add to that front and rear parking sensors. So that is pretty darn cool. But overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the XC40, brilliant safety in this thing. I absolutely love that. The flag is Sweden on the passenger seat. I always love that. Lots of nice functionality in the cargo area with all of those grocery bag hooks. I also like what they did with the passenger side glove box here with the coat hook in there and the little place to put your pen. I don't see that on most vehicles out there. The crystal shifter is absolutely amazing. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Volvo at social media at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and everything else that goes on at the dealership. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. We will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.